What's up, you freaking geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to find volumes of similar solids. So we're going to go over two examples. One's going to be a cylinder and the other one's going to be a prism. All right, so let's start with this cylinder example. So here we're told that these two cylinders are similar. Okay, and we're given the volume of this smaller cylinder, right, cylinder A, and we're also given the radiuses, or the radii of the two cylinders. So cylinder A has a radius of 3 centimeters and cylinder B has a radius of 6 centimeters. Okay, so the first thing you want to do with these types of problems is find a scale factor. So let's write that out. So the first thing we want to find is the scale factor, which is labeled as K. Now, in order to find this scale factor, you just have to compare two similar dimensions. So for instance, here we're given the radius of cylinder A and we're also given the radius of cylinder B. So we can simply use those two dimensions since they're both radiuses or radii, okay? So we're gonna compare the radius of cylinder B to the radius of cylinder A. Okay, so the radius of cylinder B is 6 and the radius of cylinder A is 3. And 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2, all right? So our scale factor, K, is equal to 2. Let's write that up here so we can keep track of that. So one thing that I want to point out is here I put the radius of B on top and the radius of A on the bottom. Now here it doesn't really matter. We could have put the radius of A on top and the radius of B on the bottom. That would have changed our scale factor, but that's okay. The only thing you want to do is to make sure you're consistent, all right? So I say that because let's move on to step 2. So again, we have B on top, the information for B on top, and the information for A on the bottom. So let's move this out of the way. And now that we have our scale factor, now we can compare the volumes. So here we want to compare the volume of cylinder B over the volume of cylinder A. All right, notice that I put B on top and A on the bottom because to find our scale factor, we had the radius of B on top and the radius of A on the bottom. Okay, so again, whichever way you choose, just make sure it stays consistent. Now, when we're comparing the volumes, you're going to set it equal to K cubed. Okay, so now let's fill in what we know. So we don't know the volume of cylinder B, so that's going to stay the same. However, we do know the volume of cylinder A, right? It's given right here as 45 pi centimeters cubed, right? So volume of A is 45 pi. And again, that's going to be equal to K cubed, or in other words, we can plug in our K, right? So it's 2. So we're going to get 2 cubed. Okay, so again, we still don't know what the volume of cylinder B is, so that'll stay the same. 45 pi, we can simplify that, so if you multiply that together, you'll get that this is equal to approximately 141.37. And we're setting that equal to 2 cubed, which is equal to 8. Okay, so now we can solve for the volume of cylinder B. The first thing we have to do is get rid of this 141.37 in the denominator, and we can do that by multiplying both sides by 141.37 and multiply on this side also, right, by 141.37. So on this side, these cancel out, and all we're left with is the volume of cylinder B, and that's going to be equal to 8 times 141.37, which is equal to 1,130.97. And what are our units? Well, it looks like we're working with centimeters cubed for the volumes, right? So this is going to be centimeters cubed, right? So this is the volume of cylinder B. All right, let's do one more example here. So for this one, we want to find the volume of this little one, prism B. Okay, and the information that it gives us is that prism A, this big one up here, gives us the height of this prism, right, as 9 centimeters. It gives us the volume, which is 2,673 centimeters cubed. And then for prism B, all it gives us is the height, which is 3 centimeters. Okay, so again, the first thing you want to do is find your scale factor, which is K. And the way that you do that is, again, just comparing two similar dimensions. So the two similar dimensions that we can compare here are the heights, right? So we have the height of prism A and the height of prism B. So let's type that in, or let's write that in. The height of prism A, where we want to compare to the height of prism B. So the height of prism A is 9, and the height of B is 3. So 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. Okay, so this is going to be our scale factor k this time. So let's write that here. So k is going to be equal to 3. Okay, great. So now that we found our scale factor, we can again compare the volumes. So on top, we're going to say the volume of prism A over the volume of prism B. And again, I have A on top and B on the bottom because I have A on top and B on the bottom. Okay, and again, we're going to set this equal to k cubed, right? So that's our formula. So let's just fill in what we know. So we know the volume of prism A, right? That's given as 2,673. That's going to be over the volume of B, which we don't know, right? That's what we're looking for here. And again, that's going to be equal to k cubed. And again, k is equal to 3. So here, this is going to be equal to 3 cubed. Okay, so simplifying this formula one more time, we're going to have 2673 over the volume of prism B is equal to 3 cubed, which is 27. All right, now here we're trying to solve for the volume of prism B, but we can't really do it if it's in the denominator. So what we have to do instead is multiply both sides by the volume of prism B on that side and by the volume of prism B on this side. All right, so then on this side, those volumes cancel out, and all we're left with is 2673 is equal to 27 times the volume of prism B. Okay, now to solve for the volume of prism B, we need to get rid of this 27, and we can do that by dividing both sides by 27, right? So then on this side, those cancel out, and all we're left with is the volume of prism B, and that's equal to this, which is equal to 99 centimeters cubed. Boom. So if you found the video helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below.